Yeah, hi kids. Yeah, it's me, the Red Panther, Professor Panther. Today we're gonna give you a little insight into philosophy. The other day, yesterday, I was cleaning my floor. Let's have a look at that floor. Hey, not bad, huh? Oh, there's a little footprint over there. Anyway, as is my custom, I try to use my time twice, and I was listening to a lecture provided by Netflix on my TV. In my instant queue for you Netflixers out there. At any rate, I was listening to a lecture by a guy named Hicks, who I'd never heard before. And Stephen Hicks was talking about how Nietzsche, how Nietzsche affected the Nazis, and just generally about how the Nazis came to be. At any rate, who's Nietzsche, you ask? Well, he was a German philosopher. And back in the 60s, when the old Red Panther was in college, there was this thing going around, God is dead. Well, first of all, Nietzsche said, God is dead, we have killed him. Which is, a little different from God is dead. So the atheists, they took that phrase and ran with it, which is, kind of, I guess, what the Nazis did. The Ubermensch, the Overman, the Superman. Well, anyway, that's another story. But anyway, I found Stephen Hicks on YouTube. Well, actually, this is his website, but it's a YouTube video. So here we go. Here's a little bit of Stephen Hicks, professor, PhD, talking about Plato's Republic. Hang on, kids.
A little bit more. All right, I want to jump ahead a little bit here. There's a passage where Socrates has explained this allegory a little bit more here, and he says to Glaucon, "And now look again and see what will naturally follow if the prisoners are released and disabused of their error. At first, when any of them is liberated and compelled suddenly to stand up and turn his neck round and walk towards the light, he will suffer sharp pains. The glare will distress him, and he will be unable to see the realities of which his former state he had seen in the shadows." Okay, what's just happened is, if we take this person as our representative prisoner here, this prisoner is released, he stands up, he turns around, and he looks toward the light. And a couple of things are significant here. First thing is a cognitive step. This person is going from a state of relative ignorance to a state of relative knowledge. Having done so, he is in a position now to say, oh, hey, wait a minute, that which I thought was real before really is an illusion or a lesser reality. And now I can see these things here. I am in better possession, right, of knowledge. So the process of education, right, has begun. And so here we have Plato introducing one of the educational implications. But notice also what he has said about the process of education. And here he is weighing in on and taking sides on one of the great controversies in educational circles. Is it the case that education is something that is pleasurable, joyful, something that we all naturally want to do and are inclined to do? Are we naturally curious, wanting to develop our faculties, right, and so forth? Plato is saying here, or suggesting here fairly emphatically, that it is not. That is not true. By having the person stand up and turn toward the light, and emphasizing the fact that in the process of doing so, the glare hurts his eyes. He suffers sharp pains. Plato is making the point, it's a point that he returns to regularly, that education is a painful process. It's not a pleasurable process. It's also not something that we naturally want to do. We naturally recoil from pain, so it makes sense then to infer that we're not going to naturally do very much by way of education, because that is a painful process. So the process of education, the process of coming to be enlightened, is a painful process. Plato is making that suggestion here, and it's an important one. Another important feature of this passage here is that he
Okay, kids, you got the idea. Stephen Hicks. Yeah, he's talking about some stuff from Plato's Republic. For you Greeks. You geeks. What's worse, being a Greek or a geek? A Greek geek. Anyway. Yeah, there it is. Looking at the back of that cave, seeing the illusions, the grand illusions. Or if it was Dorothy, it would be the man behind the curtain. Yeah. So get out there and authenticate yourselves, kids. Break those chains. And it's not going to be easy. You know. Education isn't easy, he said. It's painful. Boy, that's no kidding. Do you remember high school? Oh, what a waste of time that was. Well, I'm sorry, kids. Go to school. Learn the golden rule. He who has the gold rules. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Stephen Hicks, I'm giving you another heads up. You know, and this is sort of similar to some of the things the Buddhists might say. You know, I kind of like Zen Buddhism myself as a philosophy. You know, wake up. Stop looking at the back of the cave. Break those chains off and get out. And certainly, this certainly rings true of what Jesus said too, I think, although in a much grander way, a much more important way. At any rate, there's Stephen Hicks. Check him out. This is Red Panther, over and out.